Are we ready to go?
Yeah, I think we are. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yes, I can hear you fine. So I'm presuming that you will translate over what I'm saying, or should I stop every few sentences to let you translate what I just said?
Please do that. So we're ready. That's a good idea. Maybe 15 to 20 words after could be trying to translate.
Yeah, I didn't hear you very well. I'm sorry.
Yes, I agree. Every 2 sentences, let's say.
Okay. All right. Okay, very good. Okay, well, as I'm sure you know now, and Patrick has mentioned that my name is Howard Banich, and I have been a contributing editor to Sky and Telescope magazine for the last, maybe 12 years now. And I'm really pleased to be here to speak to you tonight with Patrick's kind invitation. Because Patrick asked me to talk about anything regarding galaxies. And I thought, wow, okay, that's a big subject. So I thought about it for a few days, and I came up with a new presentation for you tonight. This is not something I've given to you before. So it might be a little rough and bumpy in spots. I don't really know because I haven't presented it before. So, but we'll get through it together. So I chose the topic why we observe galaxies because I thought it would not only be interesting, but would help for me to clarify my own thoughts on the subject. I've always found the question why on any subject to usually be pretty interesting. So hopefully it will be for you tonight. And if what I have to say doesn't quite sink in, hopefully it'll at least spark your own thoughts on the subject of why you observe galaxies. My talk is in 2 parts. The first half, I talk about my perspective on the universe as I have gradually come to think of it over the 50 plus years I've been observing it.
Esto está se hace sobre mi propia perspectiva de cuál es mi idea de lo que es el universo.
And galaxies play a central role in how my perspective of the universe and of galaxies themselves have evolved.
Las galaxias juegan un papel fundamental en mi visión del universo.
Okay. Then the second half of my presentation is about six practical tips that can help anyone to see more.
Como para mejor aprovechar la observación de sus galaxias.
These are techniques that I have used and many other observers have used over the years, and I hope you find them useful as well. So with that, I'll bring up my presentation, and we'll get into that so you don't have to just look at my face. Okay, I need you to enable screen sharing on your side.
Ahora sí, necesitamos compartir la pantalla.
Sí, ya la puedes compartir.
Okay, ya. Ya pusiste enable para que ya pusiste enable sharing. Yes. Okay, Howard, you can go ahead. And share.
Okay. No, it's not. Okay, I'll try again. Can you share now? Still won't let me share.
Just one more question. Okay. Would you please try again, Howard?
Okay. Okay, here we go. We got it now.
Ya ni le oigo.
Okay.
Okay, here we go. So, why we observe galaxies and how to get the most of our observations. And just so you know,
Las galaxias, cómo aprovechar al máximo nuestras observaciones.
the images of galaxies and galaxy groups that you'll see in the background of each slide are my sketches. None of these are photographs. This is NGC 4565.
No hay son fotografías, son sus propios dibujos de
Okay, so I can really only speak about why I observe galaxies, and I hope it'll be something that will translate to your own thought processes when you're observing as well. So,
Okay. ¿Por qué? Más precisamente, ¿por qué observo las galaxias? Mi perspectiva diaria es bastante estrecha y es fácil de olvidarme que vivo en una galaxia y es uno de los miles de billones de galaxias que poblan nuestro universo. I just read the first concept.
yes, that's very good. So I think this is something we can all identify with. We're busy with our families, with our jobs, with our lives, and our focus as human beings becomes very narrow in just that, and we forget that we live in a galaxy. So
Todos nosotros somos una galaxia, nuestros familias viven en una galaxia. O sea, la galaxia no solamente es un objeto que vemos, sino que es de donde vivimos nosotros.
okay, and galaxies give the universe depth, the perspective of depth. Yeah, and they hint at is what to our human perspective is an unimaginable vastness. You know, we look at our Milky Way and we can see things in our own galaxy, nebula and star clusters, and they're within the thousands of light years away. Galaxies are in the millions of light years away.
O sea, los galaxias que estamos viendo son de la perspectiva de millones de años luz de distancia de nosotros. Las galaxias dan al universo una perspectiva de profundidad y también nos da una idea de su tamaño, pues, que no podemos imaginar.
Okay, and most galaxies have billions of stars, and seeing them reduced to a dim smudge in the eyepiece of a telescope, no matter how big or how small a telescope, simply because they're so far away, is awe-inspiring.
Es que la mayoría de las galaxias tienen miles de millones de estrellas y cuando los vemos a través del ocular, del telescopio, nada más se ve como una mancha, porque simplemente están tan lejos, pero con todo y todo nos abruman, nos inspira.
And thinking of this makes my daily struggles seem much less imposing and easier to manage.
Pues cuando yo contemplo esto, me da una perspectiva a mis esfuerzos diarios que me parecen mucho menos importantes, mucho menos relevantes a la gran inmensidad de la galaxia y de las galaxias.
And really, that's enough reason right there to observe galaxies on especially hard days. That can really make my life much easier. Okay, next slide. Now, a really super cool reason to observe galaxies, especially when they're distance one, is relativity and the expansion of the universe.
Una razón muy grave de observar las galaxias, sobre todo las más distantes, son, en primer lugar, la relatividad y la expansión del universo.
Now, we can't see these properties of the universe, but we can appreciate them when observing really distant galaxies.
Es que porque no podemos ver esa propiedad del universo, pero los podemos apreciar si estamos viendo galaxias muy distantes.
For instance, and this is something I find really fascinating, is that galaxies that are at or further away than 200 million light years are far enough away that the expansion of the universe makes their current position significantly farther away than the time it took for their light to reach us. This is called the co-moving radial distance.
Es que, por ejemplo, un concepto muy importante es que las galaxias están, sobre todo las galaxias que están a más de 200 millones de años luz, están a una distancia tan grande que la expansión del universo hace que la posición corriente que tienen ahorita en este momento hace pues impráctico para que la luz nos alcance a nosotros. Es un concepto que se llama distancia co-moving.
Okay, now this may seem a little complex perhaps or difficult to understand, but stay with me. Hopefully I'll be able to pull this together in an understandable way over my next few slides.
Este concepto que ya mencioné es bastante complejo, pero denme paciencia mientras lo explico a través de los siguientes diapositivas.
Okay, so for instance, distances to galaxies are usually referred to in light years, which is just a measure of how many years it took the light from a galaxy to reach us.
Es una medida de cuántos años tarda la luz de una galaxia para alcanzarnos a nosotros.
So for galaxies up to approximately 200 million light years away, that also means how far away they are right now.
Para las galaxias que están aproximadamente 200 millones de años luz, esto también quiere decir qué tan lejos están de nosotros en este momento.
Now, because the universe is expanding, galaxies whose light took 200 million light years or more to reach us, this measurement is more accurately called the light travel time.
Para el universo que está en expansión de las galaxias, cuya distancia está a más de 200 millones de años luz. Esa luz para alcanzarnos, ese medidor, para escribirlo de una forma exacta, se llama tiempo de viaje de luz.
So beyond 200 million light years light travel time, the universe has expanded enough to make the current distance farther than the light travel time.
Más allá de 200 millones de años luz, el universo está expandiendo lo suficiente que la distancia actual más allá de la distancia o el tiempo en que viaja la luz.
Okay, so some examples.
Vamos a ver.
A galaxy with a redshift, which is also referred to as Z of 0.002 has a 277 million year light travel time.
Una galaxia que tiene un corrimiento al rojo, o sea, como quien dice Z, de 0.002. Tiene un tiempo de viaje de luz de 277 millones de años.
But over those 277 million years the light took to get to us, the universe has expanded. So its current distance, and this is called the co-moving radial distance from us, is now 280 million light years, a difference of 3 million light years.
La distancia actual, o sea, la distancia radial de movimiento combinado de nosotros ahora es 200 millones de años luz, una diferencia adicional de 3 billones de años luz.
So just for our own reference, we know that the Andromeda galaxy, M31, is about 3 million light years away from us. So that's a way to imagine how much the universe has expanded for light that has taken 277 million years to get to us from a far distant galaxy.
Sí. Por ejemplo, la galaxia Andrómeda está apenas 3 billones de años luz de nosotros. Y si lo ponemos en la perspectiva de 277 millones de años, pues es una inmensa diferencia.
And so the farther away a galaxy is, the bigger the difference between the light travel time and its co-moving radial distance becomes. And next I'll have another example.
Lo más lejano que se pone una galaxia, la más grande es la diferencia entre el tiempo de viaje de luz y lo que llamamos la distancia radial combinada. Aquí hay otro ejemplo que va a explicar.
So the galaxy with a redshift of 0.08 has a 1.063 billion year light travel time and a co-moving radial distance of 1.104 billion light years. That's a difference of 41 million light years.
Rojo de 0.08 tiene el tiempo de 1.063 mil, o sea, 1063, o sea, 1 millón de millones de años luz de tiempo de viaje. Y la distancia radial combinada es de 1 millón de millones de años luz.
So that 41 million light years, all because of the expansion of the universe, to me is awe-inspiring.
Entonces, es una diferencia de 41 billones de años luz simplemente por la expansión del universo. O sea, 41. O sea, ¿cuál es ese 40? Es la diferencia entre 1 millón, 2063 y 1104. Eso nos da los 41 millones.
So that's interesting. That might even be fascinating. But how do I know that? I mean, where do I find these numbers? Here are 2 websites that anyone can use to find the redshift of a galaxy, or Z. It's referred to either way. The Aladdin Light online tool is a wonderful tool. And you can take the redshift number from there and paste it into NetWrite cosmology calculator, and I'll show you how that's done.
¿Cómo podemos encontrar el redshift de una galaxia en particular? Se puede usar una herramienta que se llama la luz de Aladín herramienta.
Okay, this is a screenshot of Aladdin light.
Es una toma de pantalla de la herramienta de light de la luz de Aladín, de esta herramienta, para medir la distancia de corrimiento a rojo que estudiamos en el curso que vimos de espectroscopía.
So what I have on the screen here, this is Stephan's quintet. This is in Pegasus, and I type the NGC number of one of these galaxies into the target window.
Es una muestra de unas galaxias, de un grupo de galaxias que estén en la constelación de Pegaso.
And then this photograph of Stephan's quintet came up on the screen, and I clicked on Sinbad, which brought up all of these little green circles.
Comienza a arrojar todos estos círculos verdes de aquí.
And so I clicked on the circle in the center of this galaxy, which is NGC 7318b. And all of this astrophysical information came up. But what I'm looking for here is the redshift number. And here it is, I highlighted it. So I highlighted and copied that number and took it to another website, NetWrite's cosmology calculator, and I pasted that same number in the window for Z.
Entonces ponen el número de Z en un calculador cosmológico de NetWrite.
And then I clicked on flat. That means a flat universe. These other properties of the universe, you can change them if you want to see how it changes the numbers you get over here. But I just clicked on flat, and here we have the light travel time.
Entonces, flat,
which we get 269 million light years. GYR means giga light years or billion light years. So this is 0.269 of a billion light years, which is 269 million.
Que son 269 años luz de distancia.
And so then we look at the next line.
Billones de años luz de distancia.
And the next line is the co-moving radial distance, which takes into account how much the universe has expanded over those 269 million years. And we get 272 million light years. Or this galaxy is actually expanded away from us 3 million more light years since it light left.
Una diferencia de 3 millones de años luz.
So these two tools together are a powerful way to look up any galaxy and to find out how far away it is and many of its other properties as well. Because as we'll go back, there's a lot of other information here. Oops.
Podemos realmente ver mucho más información.
Okay, hold on a minute. I need to get back to where I was. Here we go. There we go. Okay, no, it's going to take me to the beginning each time. All right, sorry about that. Okay, so yeah, powerful tools. Yeah, I have the links here. So hopefully you're recording this. If not, I can send these links in the email to Patrick.
Okay, entonces podemos tomar este número del corrimiento al rojo, de Aladdin Light, y pegarlo aquí en el calculador de NetRice, de cosmología. Y todo esto lo vamos a poner en el chat del grupo. ¿Están de acuerdo? Para que ustedes mismos, las galaxias que quieren, pueden hacer estos cálculos. Copiar, poner, copiar y
Okay. So this is a thought that I've come to thinking about feeling small and insignificant compared to the universe. I know many people feel this way.
Al contemplar lo pequeño e insignificantes que somos en comparación con el tamaño del universo.
Mira, a mí me pasa.
So what I consider is that clusters of galaxies, like the Virgo galaxy cluster, make individual galaxies within it seem small by comparison.
Cuando consideramos un cúmulo de galaxias, como lo que vamos a ver en este curso, el cúmulo de galaxias de Virgo, que está muy a la vista en estos días, las galaxias individuales parecen muy pequeñitos en comparación con el cúmulo de galaxias.
And the overall size of the universe makes galaxy clusters and everything else within it incredibly tiny by comparison too.
Cuando comienzas a tomar en cuenta el tamaño en sí del universo, los cúmulos de galaxias parecen minúsculas, parecen significantemente pequeños en comparación también.
So that can be a overwhelming thought. But to me, that makes everything in the universe equally significant. If everything is tiny, we're all the same.
Igualdad en todo el universo, que todos igualmente significantes en el universo.
Okay, so that's on to the second half of the presentation. 6 tips for observing galaxies.
Esta es la segunda parte de la conferencia. Ya terminamos la primera parte de la conferencia, es por qué debemos contemplar las galaxias. Este es 6 consejos de cómo observar las galaxias. Adelante, Howard.
Okay, number 1. And this is probably the most practical thing that anyone can do, is to sketch what you see at the eyepiece. The process of sketching will automatically train your eye to pay attention to what you're seeing. And during the course of making your sketch, you'll notice the most detail possible.
O sea, aquí es lo que les platiqué antes de comenzar la conferencia. Howard no se dedica a astrofotografía, se dedica a dibujar todo lo que ve él por el ocular, el iris. El proceso de hacer un dibujo automáticamente te enseña a tu ojo a hacer caso. Y durante el curso del proceso de hacer un dibujo vas a darte muchos más detalles de lo que hubieras dado cuenta si nada más estabas un ojo.
Okay, for instance, the galaxy, or really any deep sky object, may appear as a featureless blur at first glance. But as you start sketching, subtle details will probably start to emerge.
Por ejemplo, cuando comienzas a hacer un dibujo de una galaxia, o de hecho cualquier objeto del espacio profundo, puede parecer, pues sin chiste, simplemente un borrón a primera vista, pero cuando comienzas a dibujar los pequeños detalles, comienzan a salir a la vista.
So that doesn't mean you will always see some detail. It doesn't always happen. Some galaxies will look like a featureless blur no matter what you do or how big a telescope you look at them. But many, and really quite, when I say many, I mean many, will gradually reveal details that might surprise you if you stick with the process of sketching.
No sucede siempre. Muchas galaxias, por más que los trates de dibujar, siempre se va a ver el mismo borrón. Pero en muchos casos, pequeños detalles van a emergir y nos van a sorprender.
So this is not an artistic exercise. I know many people shy away from any type of sketching or drawing because they feel they have no talent. That doesn't matter here. The whole idea is to let the process of sketching train your eye to pay attention, and you'll see more. You'll get better with the practice, but you don't have to show your sketches to anyone. They're just for you.
Esto no es un ejercicio de tipo artístico. Toda la idea es hacer un proceso de entrenar tu ojo para hacer caso. Y obviamente te mejores con el tiempo, con la práctica. Y no es para que hagas un dibujo para enseñar a los demás, son para ti.
Number 2, if you can, do a little research about the galaxies you want to observe. Wikipedia is actually a good source of information. And if you want to find some professional research papers, there are some usually referenced at the bottom of each Wikipedia page.
Yo te aconsejo que hagan un poquito de investigación sobre las galaxias que van a observar. Wikipedia obviamente es una excelente fuente de información. Y si quieres saber más sobre una galaxia, al final del artículo de Wikipedia siempre salen unas investigaciones o research papers que siempre están en la fuente de Wikipedia.
Yeah, I have found I always want to reobserve the object after I research it.
Entonces, lo que hago yo es volver a observar el objeto si ya terminé mi investigación, si ya lo investigué después de mi observación.
Okay, number 3, and don't worry about your telescope if it's big enough to see galaxies. If you have trouble from your normal observing site, most likely the real problem is that your sky is just too bright.
No te preocupes si tu telescopio es demasiado pequeño para ver galaxias. Si tienes problemas para en el lugar normal donde tienen las observaciones, realmente el problema no es el telescopio, el problema es el cielo donde estás haciendo tu observación, que es demasiado brillante.
So if you can, travel to a place where there is little or no light pollution, and you'll be amazed at what you can see with even the smallest telescope. If your only option is to observe under a bright sky, keep trying anyway, because the atmosphere...
Un lugar donde hay muy poco o casi nada de contaminación lógica, y vas a darte cuenta que inclusive con un pequeño telescopio puedes observar de una forma maravillosa las galaxias.
Because it's important to remember that the atmosphere is always changing, and when it's especially transparent, you'll be able to see galaxies that are invisible under normal sky conditions.
La única opción que tenemos es verlo bajo un cielo contaminado, que trate de serlo constantemente. Muchas veces el ambiente es de forma muy particular, transparente. Por ejemplo, el sábado en la noche estuvo maravilloso aquí en la Ciudad de México, comparativamente de lo que normalmente es. Y pueden ver galaxias que normalmente están invisibles bajo condiciones normales del cielo. La Secretaría de Ambiente. Exactamente.
Okay, number 4. My best advice is to start with the brighter galaxies, like in the Messier catalog. Then you can try your luck with fainter NGC galaxies.
El mejor consejo que te puede hacer es comenzar con las galaxias con la lista de catálogo de serie que hemos estado estudiando en todos estos cursos. Acuérdense que los 105, 210 números de maestría, más o menos la mitad, no la mitad, tal vez el 40%, 40% son galaxias. Y poco a poco podemos lograr la lista de Herschel, que son los números NGC, que quiere decir New General Catalog, el catálogo nuevo general. O sea, las galaxias NGC.
And observe as often as you can. Practice really does help. Observing faint objects like galaxies is a skill like anything else.
Observar lo más frecuentemente que pueden, realmente al ser práctica ayuda muchísimo.
Okay, then even if you observe under a light polluted sky, let your observing eye become as dark adapted as possible. Really helps.
Si estamos observando inclusive bajo un cielo con mucha contaminación lumínica, deja que el ojo de observación se adapte lo mejor posible a la oscuridad. Y esto ayuda de una forma muy significante.
Although this is a bit of an extreme tip, some people do this, but they wear an eye patch over their observing eye while they're not looking through their telescopes. And that's an easy way to keep your observing eye dark adapted.
Inclusive usen un parche sobre el ojo que está observando cuando no están viendo a través del telescopio, y esa es la forma más fácil de preservar la adaptación que tiene el ojo, o más bien su retina, a la oscuridad.
Another advantage of wearing an eye patch is that you can talk like a pirate if you want. Okay, number 5. Okay, it's equally important to keep stray light from getting into your peripheral vision while your eye is at the eyepiece. You can cup your hands on either side of your observing eye while you're observing, or construct a light baffle that does the same thing.
Okay, entonces es muy importante de evitar que la luz que viene de forma periférica a tu visión periférica entra a tu ojo cuando está viendo por el ocular. Trata de poner tus manos alrededor del lado del ojo que te está observando, o construir un pequeño contenedor de luz que hace exactamente lo mismo como se ve aquí arriba.
In this photograph, the observer is looking at an eyepiece, and this is a light baffle that keeps light from getting into the peripheral vision. And I'll show you what that looks like in more detail in the next slide.
Sí, porque está subiendo la escalera y aquí está en la vez.
Okay, so this is what that light baffle looks like. You can see the eyepiece, and this keeps light from getting into peripheral vision.
Él construyó aquí para evitar que acá y disminuye la sensibilidad hacia la luz más tenue.
And this is another way to do the same thing. This is just white foam. The person attached with Velcro to his telescope, and he painted the inside black. Okay, final tip. Okay, while you're observing a galaxy, be sure to remember that you're seeing billions of stars and everything else that makes up a galaxy, and that it's so far away that their combined light has become so dim you can barely see it. That the distance is unimaginable. We put numbers to it in millions of light years, but who can imagine that really?
Tienes que tomar en cuenta cuando estamos observando una galaxia que tienes que estar viendo miles de millones de estrellas y todo lo más que constituye la galaxia y que está tan lejos que su luz combinada ha llegado a ser tan tenue que apenas lo puedes ver.
If you observe galaxies with a factually informed imagination, you'll find that it's just as important as observing with your eyes. Knowing something about what you're seeing in the eyepiece can make the difference between a forgettable and an awe-inspiring observation.
Formado con hechos es tan importante que observarlo con tus ojos.
Thank you very much. Are there any questions?
Ahora es tiempo para las preguntas. Howard, ¿quién quiere comenzar con una pregunta? Voy a ir paso por paso. Roberto, sí, Roberto, ¿cuál es tu pregunta?
La expansión del universo es constante, la velocidad de expansión del universo es constante.
Okay. Howard, Roberto is asking, is the expansion of the universe constant or accelerating?
Actually, no, it is accelerating. And that's a discovery that was just made about 25 years ago. One of the key projects for the Hubble Space Telescope was to measure supernova exploding in galaxies all through the universe to be able to determine
Supernovas que se están explotando en diferentes galaxias en todo el universo.
so they could determine very precisely how far away these galaxies were by measuring the supernova explosions. And they were able to, over the first 10 years of the operation of the Hubble Space Telescope, they collected a lot of good data, and they came up with a very robust number for the expansion of the universe.
Gracias a las investigaciones del telescopio espacial Hubble, sobre todo durante los primeros 10 años, pudieron observando explosiones de supernovas en muchísimas galaxias y todo, llegar a un número bastante preciso sobre la expansión del universo.
And from that, they discovered that the expansion is actually accelerating, which was totally unexpected.
Y lo que sí se dio cuenta que es totalmente constante.
Now, at the same time, other astronomy observations in orbit around the Earth, like the Hipparchus mission, it measured the leftover glow of the Big Bang. And that also gave a very precise distance or age to the universe. And from that, they could calculate an expansion rate as well.
Sí, eso también otro análisis que hizo con la famosa foto de microondas, y lo que se ha concluido de allí, también podemos tener una precisión de la expansión del universo muy preciso.
Also, a third way of measuring the the size of the universe was a long-term project taken on by many observatories on Earth, where they would measure distances to nearby galaxies by looking at certain type of variable stars, usually Cepheid variables.
Entonces, Francisco, hemos visto en los cursos sobre las cefeidas. Después de las cefeidas que mismo está analizando, que fueron descubiertas por las computadoras de Harvard, por la señora Swan Levitt, creo que se llamaba ella, que ella ayudó para que Edmund Hubble pudiera determinar la expansión del universo. Ese es uno de los métodos. Hay 3 métodos: supernovas, céfidas y lo que mencionó Howard.
So the Cepheid variable stars have a special property that their period of variation is very closely tied to how bright they are. So astronomers in a very distant galaxy, they can see a Cepheid variable star and measure its period of variation. They can determine very precisely its distance.
Entonces, lo bueno es que cuando encuentran una estrella variable céntrica, pueden determinar por su ciclo que es exactamente el distante de esta galaxia. Es lo que usó Edmund Hubble.
So what's become very interesting, and it's become a very exciting time for astronomers and cosmologists, is that those 3 ways of determining the size of the universe and its expansion rate don't agree. And so now the challenge is for astronomers is to figure out why they don't agree and which of those numbers are actually correct. Or maybe they're all correct. We don't know.
Okay, están 3 respuestas, pero no consigo las 3 respuestas. Ya aparecen como la mañanera de los. Pero vamos a saber en el futuro, en mayor investigación, cuál de las 3 es la correcta, o si de alguna forma las 3 son correctas.
Tengo una pregunta.
Hey, another question, Howard.
He leído en la revista del club que todo lo que está hablando este hombre ahora y tú, hablamos de nuestro universo, pero que existe multiuniverso. Es decir, toda esta gran personaje de 200 millones de años forma parte de nuestro universo. Existe un multiuniverso.
This is a very theoretical question, and I think it's a little bit beyond the scope of this discussion. But what Enrique, our good friend here, said, that besides the visible universe, there might be multi-universes. But I think that's something we have to leave for another conference, because that's a little bit out of the ballpark.
That's a very big subject, yes. Unintended. Yeah. So our universe is big enough. And we can't even see all of our own universe. You know, the fact that there may be multiple universes is theoretically possible, but yeah, you're right. It's a subject all to its own.
Yeah. Here's another question from Roberto. He's our headache man. Okay, Robert.
En cada galaxia, en el centro de cada galaxia, indiscutiblemente tiene que haber un número, o no necesariamente.
Do you feel, Howard, that there is a black hole in every galaxy?
Well, the research says there's a black hole in the center of almost every galaxy, but not all. It's an area of active research, I know, because the few exceptions that don't have a black hole are galaxies that are usually very small.
Casi
And
todas,
so,
todas las galaxias normales sí tienen, pero las que no tienen son muy pequeñas.
and so they may have formed through a different mechanism than larger galaxies that do have black holes.
Okay.
Está bien. Hacemos el cinco.
Howard, may I ask you a question?
Please.
Okay. Would you tell us a little bit about your personal observing experience, especially there in Oregon at the astronomers?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear all the question. Could you repeat it?
Okay. Could you tell us, Howard, a little bit about your own very well-known observations at storm parties, especially in Texas and in Oregon?
Okay. My experience observing here in Oregon, and especially at the Oregon Star Party, which is held usually in July or August.
En julio las estrellas hay la estrella, una fiesta de estrellas todos los años en julio o en agosto en Oregon.
And the this is that Star Party is in Central Oregon in the high desert, where it's very dry and the sky is usually very clear.
Normalmente el ambiente es muy seco en el verano y es un óptimo momento y la visibilidad es magnífica. Pero este es el lado oriente. This is on the east part of Oregon, isn't it? Not close to
The Oregon Star Party is almost exactly in the very center of the state of Oregon.
Está en el centro del estado, pero no está cerca del mar. Entonces, muchas veces pensamos en Portland que está sobre el mar. Ese es bastante lejos del mar.
So the observing conditions there are very often the very best we get all year long, no matter where we go, because it's dark, sky is transparent, and the scene is usually very steady.
Transparencia, muy oscuro, las mejores condiciones de todo el año.
We can go.
My wife says, can we go and visit you at Oregon?
Oh, please do. Yes. I'd be happy to have you.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a special place to go.
There's a lot of women here that are always ready to take a trip.
Okay. Yeah, I'm serious. If you come this way, be happy to have you as guests. So I think you also asked about Texas.
Now, would you tell us a little bit about your very interesting experience in East Texas that you mentioned so much in your last article?
Yes. My good friend Jimmy Lowry has a 48-inch telescope.
Amigo de 48 pulgadas, o sea, es 1,20 m, no de largo,
And he and his wife built a home and an observatory, actually in West Texas. He's very close to the McDonald Observatory, run by the University of Texas.
El observatorio McDonald. Ese está muy cerca de un lugar donde Prince Stella hace muchos años con los niños que se llama el Parque Big Ben. That's kind of close to Big Ben.
Well, for Texas-sized distances, yes, but it's still like a 3-hour drive.
O sea, tomando en cuenta cómo es de grande Texas, sí, pero todavía el Big Ben hasta el lugar McDonald, el observatorio son 3 horas. que dejas está final.
So the skies that Jimmy has at his home with his 48-inch telescope can be as dark as anywhere on the planet.
Son los cielos de una calidad difícil de que se mejore en cualquier lado del mundo.
So because his telescope is so big, when the telescope is pointing nearly straight up, we have to climb up a 14-foot tall ladder. So that would be like 4.5 meter tall ladder to get to the eyepiece.
Para ver por el ocular 4 metros, una escalera de 4 metros para ver por el ocular.
But it's a joy to be able to look through a telescope that large that gives such excellent, beautiful views of pretty much everything in the night sky.
Es impresionante y es un placer ver el cielo, las galaxias y las estrellas por el ocular de un telescopio de este tamaño y bajo las condiciones del cielo oscuro que ven en esta parte del telescopio.
Y nos queda muy cerca, quizás podemos ir al siguiente. Podrías encontrar.
They're already looking for the recitation of corporate text. I think that's relatively close to El Paso, Texas.
Yeah, El Paso, when I go visit him, I fly to El Paso. And then I usually go with a friend of mine, Steve Gottlieb, who also writes for Sky and Telescope magazine. And we rent a car and we drive to Fort Davis, Texas, which is about a 3-hour drive. So he's in the middle of nowhere.
Más en el exterior de
El paso. El paso.
¿Qué?
Hacia Fort Davis, ¿no?
Hacia Fort Davis. Well,
So another way to think about where Jimmy and his wife live is they're about halfway between McDonald Observatory and the site of the Texas Star Party.
Well, I would like to get all our group to give you an applause for your excellent and inspiring talk today. And I think I'm going to ask them a question, not you. I'm going to ask them a question. Which one of you are willing to make an attempt to look through an eyepiece and try to make your first sketch? ¿Cuáles de ustedes están, levántese la mano, que están dispuestos a hacer por lo menos un intento de hacer un dibujo de lo que tengo un ocular?
Todo.
That's the spirit.
They're volunteers.
It doesn't hurt to try.
They're going to try to do it.
Very good.
So you might be successful.
I hope you enjoy it.
Howard, how long ago did you build your first telescope?
I built my first telescope in 1969. I was 14 years old.
54 años construyó su primer telescopio. Yo creo que estaba tomando el biberón. I said, that sounds like you were still in your diapers.
Well, I've been out of my diapers for a little while, but yeah, I was pretty young to make a telescope.
Okay, that's puedo pedir a todos un aplauso para ellos.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for this call.
It's been my pleasure.
You could outdo your article in Sky and Telescope, but I think you did that tonight. Thank you very much.
You're very kind. Thank you. And thank you all for your attention. All right. Thank you. Thank you. You've been a great audience.
Thank you very much, Howard.
You're very welcome.
Agreed with us.
See you science.
Yes. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
Sensacional.
Yeah, I hope you have some time to get out on your observing deck tonight.
Did you say something, Howard?
Yeah, only that I hope you have time left to get onto your observing deck tonight.
Yes. We're suspending that for tonight. Thank you very much. And it was great success. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. Yes. All right. Thank you, everyone. Yeah, I appreciate all your great attention and questions. Okay. Thank you, everyone online as well. Thank you, Emma. All right. Okay, so I'll sign off now. Bye-bye.
Nice.
Thank you very much, Howard.
Hola, Emma.